I talked about why it's so important for all of us to be on the bookshelf in some kind of way. I really believe that. Now, if you're like, I don't want to write a book, Jen, I am okay with that too. I just want you to know that. I'd like you to support another person in this room who's like, I want to write a book, because as I said, we need to be an option. That's the thing, it's like, it's not even about competing with men. We need to be an option. We need to be a choice. We need people to see us, right? So, Caroline Criado Perez, the author of Invisible Women, has anybody ever read this book or seen this book? It's a really good book. And it's mainly on the deficit in the wellness space. And in all of the research that Ms. Perez did, she talks about we're just so used to seeing a man as the default human. And that's the reason we need us in front of rooms and on stages and on the bookshelves. Y'all agree? Because we're not little men. For us to get what we need to be present and those leading voices. And so we have to write books. So like one of my favorite books right now that's out is called The New Menopause. Have you guys heard of it? Yes. If you haven't, Dr. Mary Claire, I'm obsessed with her. I'm thinking about going to Houston and just hanging out and see if I run into her. You know, like some people want to go to Houston to meet Brene Brown. I'm like, I want Dr. Mary Claire to be my friend, right? Because she's an OBGYN who is talking out about, she's the one who told me, I only got 2 weeks of medical training in menopause. And it wasn't until she went into perimenopause, because she's like 54, she started going, what the fuck? And she's a medical OBGYN. And she's like, wait a minute, there's nothing here for us. And anyway, she just wrote this book. And why I'm speaking about it in this segment, because I thought this was about building brand, I want you to understand that sometimes you don't know that you're supposed to write the book that people need. And you've been like machinating and thinking and ready, blah, 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 blah. Just like I told you my story about how Hay House is now owned by Penguin. Like, it's all perfect. Because if she would have wrote a book 10 years ago, she wouldn't have had the knowledge. But if you already have knowledge, then an experience, thank you, then it's time. And it's not gonna probably be your first book, right? At least, I know I have 3 more in me at least. I have too many freaking frameworks. Like, I just wanna write books on all my frameworks, I can just give it away. Because back to I want, after I'm gone, not just for my kids to be proud, you know, that mom's on the bookshelf, and I hope there's still bookshelves. Like, you know, but also I was sharing this story at Sark's event where I told the story that 15 years ago when I was in the darkest time of my life, I went into Borders bookstore, rest in peace, Borders. Borders is so much better than Barnes & Noble, and I'm very mad. Y'all agree? You could go in, you could listen to some CDs, right? Their clearance rack was hella good. When you walked in, all their discount books. Books, right? I was so sad when Borders, died. And I told her that I said, I'm so glad that I got to meet you 15 years ago when I met her. She said, we've never met before. And I said, I met you on a bookshelf in Borders. And I remember that moment because her book looked like joy. And then sometimes you'll see a book and it looks like hope. Or you'll see a book and it looks like beauty. Or you'll see a book and you go, oh my God, there's that piece of knowledge that I wish I knew. Or you'll just read a book, like fiction book, and just get in the fantasy. And that's really fun. Books are so healing, and books allow us to, again, leave something behind that's real. And that's why I think it's so important. There's so many reasons. Again, AI is reading all the books. That's the truth. So that we're no longer seen as really nothing, because the default human is a man. Just like if you're working out and strength training and nutrition, right? A lot of that data and science is based on men's bodies, men's muscle stuff. We're not little men. Pia Chattopadhyay, I think I'm saying that right. She says, we kind of are used to the idea that women are misrepresented and underrepresented in our culture, in films and in the media, right? Research showing women are more likely than men to be misdiagnosed when having a heart attack, partly because women's symptoms are different and often more subtle than men's symptoms. Women are also more likely than men to die after a heart attack, according to Heart and Stroke. The idea that women were not only being underrepresented in culture, but actually in data, in numbers, in medicine was just like a red rag to a bull. So even if you're not in the medical field, I hope you guys are getting it, your information matters. They need to actually know it now, not 7 years from now when you think you're ready. Shogun. Listen to the Shogun, okay? Because at the end of the day, this is about women's health, but I'm talking about women's wealth. I'm talking about women's power here. I was so shocked and so angry that women were dying because they were studying men to solve women's problems. They should not be studying men to solve problems that we have. Men actually, and I heard it from others, they want to be a part of the conversation. We have to allow them in, but we have to also be ready to have that conversation with them, right? Like, let's say, you have an opportunity, the door opens, and, this guy's here. What are you going to say to him, right? First of all, you have to compliment him. They like that. Because we're scary when we're confident. I'm just kidding. You don't have to be anything. Be yourself. That's the bottom line. Because when you know your stuff, you can articulate it. And so if you need help around being able to articulate that so that they can see that investing in women's wealth, health, relationships, and lives, we can do that. Isn't that exciting? And books and stages and TED Talks and getting featured and quoted in the media is a great way to do it. How many of you think that all that stuff is a little hardish to do? Oh, okay, good. Honest people. Yay, hi. Because I want you to know that it's actually hard. Did you hear me that I got rejected 70 times? Did y'all miss that? Because I'm cute in his outfits? And I can use my mouth and speak in the way that I speak and not be afraid to be the way I am. Don't miss that. Don't miss the deep disappointment and hours of therapy besides Anita that I needed to get through this book getting to life. Writing, Sarah was so sick of me already. She's like, why are you crying? This information is, I'm like, cause it feels so unfair to feel misunderstood still. What do I have to do? And I hope when I say that what you hear is not, oh gosh, if Jen took that long, then it's gonna take me even longer. What I want you to hear is, we don't actually really know. Because what I know is if more of us were submitting proposals, I think I would have been seen faster, to be honest with you. But if I'm one proposal in a sea of others, there is a gender bias, generally speaking, unconscious. I actually do believe in many ways people are not conspiring against us. I actually believe that. I think it's just the bias that's present. And the only way to really fix that bias is to just swarm, bitches, swarm. Get on those bookshelves. Get on those stages. It's so funny because they're like, oh, when you in the corporate world, did you talk to this? I said, yes, I did, actually. That's the funny thing. I never did change. And it's why I was so effective, because people trusted me. My teams trusted me. They would do anything. They would work until the end of the night. And I'm proud to say, and I don't want this for all of us, for my team, but same thing for my team in the entrepreneurial world. They will go all in because I'm not going to fake it. I'm going to say if I don't know something, right? But I don't know. Again, mouthy Filipino girl. That's all. So listen to this. Of the best-selling business books in 2020, only 17 had female authors. That number needs to improve. Of the year's 200 best-selling business books, only 17, again, were written by women, and that's equal to the number of business bestsellers written by men named John or John. Crazy. Research into gender discrimination in the publishing industry. Women's books are priced lower than men's. Manuscripts by women authors get less interest from publishers and agents. Books by women are reviewed less often than books by men, and far more reviewers are male. Successful women authors win fewer literary prizes than their male equivalents. And this is from one of the top data research firms around the publishing industry. Wild! Are you with me to fix it?